with that being said, Belle, let's head over to Stormland.
Yeah, it's kind of stormy in Stormland this
God.
week. So unfortunately, we spoke about a 4-game win streak last week, and that was broken this week with 2 Storm losses. On the third, they lost to the Dallas Wings. That was a 51-68, and our player of the game for that game is forward Breanna Stewart with 27 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, and 4 blocks, and that was the Commissioner's Cup game. On the 5th, they played the Connecticut Sun, and that was a loss, 86-93. It looked kind of like the Storm had a commanding lead there in the beginning, and Connecticut just there was one of the quotes that I heard one of the announcers say that they were trying to keep up with the Joneses, and it was Jones that really brought them back into the game. So our player of the game for that day is Magbegor with 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks.
Stuff on the stat sheet.
Yeah, she did really well. So this was her first game back from health and safety.
Health and safety. Yeah. Do you want to look back at these two? I mean, obviously, unfortunately, couldn't be there for those two, but
you were. I mean, like I said,
you summed that Connecticut game up pretty well. But I mean, Dallas. I mean, were you able to get any of that? What did you see from that Dallas loss?
I actually, unfortunately, did not get to see that one. So, will ask you, was that just kind of a blowout win throughout the whole?
See, you look at that score, right, and that's a 17-point difference.
Yeah.
This was a game, and it was kind of similar with Connecticut here, where Seattle came out and Dallas came out hot. Dallas looked ready. They were just able to play really good defense. I mean, the Storm, you hold the team to 68, that's good, but you only score 51.
Right.
It just seemed like anytime the Storm would get anything going, Dallas would answer with a 3. And when you've got the guards and Marina Mabry and Arike Ogunbowale, you can't really afford to just give up the ball a lot. And there was a lot of Seattle got 2 transition points, 2 points in transition.
And that was Mercedes' first game back, right?
Yes. Yep. And it was, that was just a game where Dallas is a young team that's got a lot of talent. They're going to be good for years to come. And you just never really found your footing, and you're still playing without a full lineup in that game. Connecticut comes to town, and this is a Connecticut team that came into the game 8-3. So they're already second best team record-wise in the WNBA behind Vegas. And you get everybody back, which is good, but you're still playing a team that has last year's MVP in Jonquel Jones. Mm-hmm. And a lot of talent. Alyssa Thomas has been playing really well. She leads them in a lot of categories. She didn't score a lot, but I think she had double-digit rebounds and assists. So, making her presence felt. Breanna Jones off the bench scored 21. Jonquel at 25. Like I said to you before we started here, Seattle had 40 points in the paint, which is good. This is a team that primarily gets a lot of points from beyond the arc. And they really weren't hitting this game. They haven't found that 3-point stride yet.
Right.
This season. Sue Bird came back and she was doing all right. She had 17 points. But anyway, to get back to that point about points in the paint, Connecticut had 40 as well.
That's what I was going to ask.
You're matched there. This was another game too where Seattle had a lead early on. Ezzy scored the first 8 points. Seattle had a lead at half, barely though. Seattle was a 13-point lead at one point in the first half. The Sun went on a 12-2 run to end the half, and then you're up by 1 point. You're like, okay, wow, that disappeared quickly.
And the third quarter was kind of similar, wasn't it? Where they created a lead, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
Yep, they had a 10-point lead at some point, and then we went into the fourth quarter up by 6, and then 4 minutes into that fourth quarter, you're down by 8. You say, what happened?
Yeah,
and they never recovered from that.
What was the turnaround? What did you notice?
The Joneses just started dominating inside.
Yeah,
that is a really big lineup. Alyssa Thomas, they are without their starting point guard Jasmine Thomas, who's out with an ACL injury, and so they've got a forward playing guard. So you got a big lineup, and you're playing again. I mean, we love having Sue Bird and Drew Lloyd, but they're 5'9" and 5'10".
Yeah.
So you've got a big lineup out there that's able to dominate inside. Someone like Jonquel Jones, who's a veteran who won MVP last year, they were able to have their way. And so the defense looked different than it has all season, right? That was the big point for us for a few weeks here, was the defense is what's going to get the Storm going. And their offense lagged behind to an extent. And you get this. You lose to a good team, though.
Yeah, a team that was competing for a championship last season.
Yeah,
so,
it had a lot of Jonquel Jones winning MVP. That's all, I expect them to be good again this year. This was a good test for you. But like Sue Bird said in the post-game press conference, this is a time for you now you've got the whole group and just build. Just build from now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you look over the 8 games, you would have liked to come out of that 8-game homestand with a better record than you had, but it doesn't matter. You've got until August in the regular season to get things sorted out. Just go from here. Just build. You played a good team. You're going to lose games. So
I didn't keep track of Ezzy's fouls as she was receiving them, but she did foul out, right?
Yeah, towards the very, very end.
Okay, so it wasn't like a ton of fouls at once.
No,
Okay,
yeah, they were kind of stretched out, and it just eventually happened. They dominated the paint.
Affected her, or like made her play more timid.
Probably, yeah, that probably affected it. And when you're playing 2 great big women, you're gonna think about that. So yeah, I'd say that factored in. But it was a tough week. But at the end of the day, if we're able to be looking at this team in August and they're hitting their stride, games like this won't necessarily matter that much.
And they certainly can. So moving on to some injury news here. As we said, the injury report for the third against Dallas, Ezzy and Sue Bird were both out on health and safety protocol. On the 4th, it was a clean report, no injuries. And then, of course, on the 2nd, it was announced that Mercedes Russell would be cleared to come back to the lineup. So she was back for that July 3rd game against Dallas. And in return, the Storm did have to release Kayla Davis from that hardship contract. On the 4th, Sue Bird and Ezzy came back from health and safety. And so Kiana Williams was released from her hardship contract. The Storm now sit at a 5-5 record. Their standing is 3rd in the Western Conference, 5th in the Western Conference for Commissioner's Cup. And looking ahead, we have June 7th against the Atlanta Dream. That's the last home game of the 8-game stretch here at home, and that's a 7 p.m. start. On June 10th, play the Dallas Wings at 5 p.m., and that is another Commissioner's Cup game. And then the 12th, they're in Dallas once again, and that is a 1 p.m. game.
Yeah, so you go on the road and you get to hopefully exact some revenge against this Dallas team, playing them twice in a span of a few days. But yeah, I mean, the end of that homestand's coming up, and I'm sure we'll do a little thing where we look back at that.
Yeah.
But it might be a critical point in the season. It might be where you figure things out. But I'd rather you figure things out now than in July or late July.
Yeah.
Right.